The flying device here is a suspended midge pupa or buzzer or chironomid type pattern, and the whole idea of it is basically that your fly hangs along like this in the surface film, and it drifts along in a flowing water, or just bobbles around in a little ripple, or just hangs static. Depending what length you have this, like, you know, this one is about 1.25 inches, I'd say, inch to 1.5 inches. It's up to you what length you want, how close. You could have it shorter or longer. You'd see these tied with CDC yarn. There's an Antron yarn one there. It sits up like that, sort of a shuttlecocky shape. And this one is tied with a glow bug, or basically a sort of an egg yarn. Typically used for some of the salmon egg patterns in other countries. It flares out, so it just makes a nice sort of indicator or sighter, or whatever you want to call it. And you can trim it, and it's up to you again what size and how much, and maybe how good your eyesight is when it's floating down the river. So yeah, the pattern itself is not that fancy, just a little bit of prep work really, and getting ready ahead. So let's get to tying one of these. Okay, so the first step here is just take a length of mono or fluorocarbon, whatever you want to use yourself. And then I'm using this stuff. It's glow bug yarn, or you can use Antron. It depends what effect. I'll maybe show you the difference between them. And basically, I'm just going to fold that over the yarn. I've got an orange color and a yellow glow here. Just tying a normal knot as if you were tying on a hook. Just like that. Just slide that up, and there's your yarn indicator piece with various colors. Now that's probably a bit too long, so I'm going to cut that a bit shorter. I'll obviously be treating this with floatant. Plus with this is that it's got a very wide, it flares out, so it's going to catch a lot of the surface and stick up. This tends to sit up reasonably well without having to add thread, so that's one of the reasons, as I say, I like this. It just flares up when you cut it, just like egg yarn does. So that's the first step. So this is a size 16 buzzer hook. I think it's a fulling mill, but doesn't really matter, I suppose, too much. I'm going to take some UTC 70. I normally like it, just tighten the tension on this bobbin. Let's take something like UTC 70. Get a bit more of that. Just attach it. Just run it down. Basically, you want to go the whole ways down, because you want to keep tapered your buzzer or chironomid. Now you can tie these as small as you like. I'm going to use this again. Look, this can be trimmed down a lot smaller afterwards if you want more subtle. Then you have to decide basically what length you want this to be. And usually there's a natural sort of curve on the tippet material, which I like to kind of keep that on top. So I'm probably going with 1 inch to 1.5 inches on this. So bring that up, down. What I'm going to do is going to add a little bit of brush on super glue to this. Don't need much. And then I'm going to fold this other piece forward, and I'm going to bind that down along the top as well. Okay, I can trim that piece off. Just don't want to get any glue on my scissors. A piece of this left that I can use, and I come forward here. I can just stand that up, put a couple of turns in front, and again it's up to you how you like to position it. I want it fairly straight. So there's more turns of thread up here, but that's your thorax area anyhow, so it doesn't matter. On the way down there, I'm going to catch in a bit of silver wire. This is 0.2 millimeter. Probably go with a thinner wire if you're going any smaller maybe than this. So just catch that in, run your thread down, and just bring it down around the bend a bit, like so. I don't want to go much further than that. So it's the black thread I'm using here. Bring the thread back up. There's a little bit of glue sitting there, just get that off. Don't want too much of a blob of glue there. Thread back up. And a couple of options. You can just tie this with thread like that, or you could use something like dyed black pheasant and wrap it up the body. I'm just going to use thread on this one here. It's going to go as far as there really, and then I'm just going to run the wire up here as a rib. I get to that thorax area, and just catch it in like so. Strap all that down. Twist that off, maybe it might be a bit neater, like so. And then I'll show you, I suppose, two more options just for finishing it off. You get 2 strands of peacock curl here, and I'm just going to get a little piece of this floating antron, and I'm going to get a thin piece, just tease out a piece. I get about 3 that width, so it's about 1/3 of the width of the strand. As I say, this is the Semperfli stuff. Now, it's up to you if you want to do this. Basically, if you want to have breeders on the midge or not. I'm going to have breeders on this one, so I think it's going to help a little bit to camouflage the mono. Now it won't be as full length as that. Okay, so I'm just going to come back a bit further here. Just again, just kind of a nice taper on this thorax area, and then just bring all the strands forward and trap them down. It's up to you. You could do this earlier in the time, or like I'm doing here later. Then I'm going to get my 2 strands of peacock curl. That one's not great. So just to save some time, I'm just going to break that one in half. Now it's 2 strands. Okay. Just trim them to one length. Let's catch those in. Just bring your thread up there. So. Now you can either wrap them around the thread like so to strengthen them. You can add another dab of super glue. I'm going to use lacquer here. Instead, I'm just going to drop a lacquer and just bring them around the thread. So you're winding that peacock curl and the thread together just to make a thorax area. You want to separate those out. Trap down your peacock curl. Just pull everything back like so. Just get in underneath the the eye. So I'm just adding to a hitch there just to lock everything in place. I can do a bit of trimming. So trim off your peacock curl and trim your breeders. Be careful here. Be sure you pull your fluoro or whatever you want to use there out of the way. Trim down your breeders to the length that you want. So you can add a whip finish to that there. Behind the eye. Like so. Now, trim that off. Strand there. So then just get your lacquer. And I'm just going to add a drop to the body. Top and bottom. And then just carefully add a drop there where you whip finished off. And so you can trim this after if you want. Smaller size. I'd probably generally, obviously you want to be able to see it, but you don't need it that big usually. I'd probably trim it to about that length there. It looks a bit bigger on the camera. With this you can see. It looks a little bit bigger than it is, but you know, bit of floatant on that, and that's going to suspend your buzzer pretty well.